Joy, welcome back to my channel. I've got a card today for Embossing Folder Friday where the theme is animals. I am using the Beautiful Blooms embossing folder from Spellbinders, the Be Yourself stamp set, and some Color Hive inks. Now I am using an ink technique with my embossing folder, so I am showing you that there are two sides to the folder, and the part that I am using is the part that's going to push into the paper. So what I do is I use the Tiptree ink and I apply that to the petals of the flowers. I am using a finger dauber because it allows me to add a good amount of ink in a controlled manner. If you wanted to try a pad to folder technique, you could do that. You could also try a blending brush, but I think that you'll get a lighter coat of ink, so you may not get the same results that I got. I then come in with Yellowstone Color Hive ink and I apply that to the tips of the petals just sporadically, just so that I get a gradient of color. Finally, I come in with Welsh Dragon and I apply that to where the leaves and the stems of the flowers are. The reason that I chose a teal, a yellow, and the pink is they are primary colors, meaning that when they mix, I will get the rainbow of colors without creating mud. So the pink and the yellow will make a coral color, the pink and the teal will make a nice soft purple. And that's important because I am going to come in with my distress sprayer once I get the inking complete. And I do that because I want a watercolor effect on my pad. I am using Bristol Smooth cardstock for this, and I am making sure to put that down on the dry side and very lightly closing that embossing folder, and then I run that through my Platinum 6. Once I dry that thoroughly, I then apply, I think it's called Magic Luster. It's a gilding wax for furniture, and I am with a very light touch applying that to the different areas of the petals and on the foliage. Basically, you can do as much or as little as you like. When I first got this Magic Luster, it was very buoyant and soft. Now it's almost dried out, but that's okay. I do come back with my Welsh Dragon and lightly apply some color to the leaves just to get a more saturated look, so that there's some depth and dimension to my saturations. I also dry it one more time because I'm going to do some stamping and some Olo marker coloring. So it's important to have that dry so that the Memento ink does not run. So I use the B from the Be Yourself stamp set, and I stamp that directly on top of the flower. Since this is Bristol Smooth, I didn't do a lot of blending because I didn't want it to run, because alcohol markers tend to absorb and kind of bloom into Bristol Smooth. So I'm only doing one or two markers just to get a little bit of variation. So I'm using the cool gray colors to do the black stripes of the bee, and then I'm doing two different yellows just to get a small gradient. What I love about this bee is where the yellow stripes are, it's actually little flowers, and it's just as cute as can be. I then come back in with the sentiment from Be Yourself, and I emboss that using Versamark ink and fine detail gold paper onto this peacock colored cardstock, and I just make sure to have my gun nice and hot before I melt that. I then die cut that down using a rectangle die, and then I pop that up on some foam squares. I also use double-sided adhesive for my front panel so that warping is decreased. I also am using some gold gems from my stash, and then also be sure to check out the description box below for everybody that's hopping along in this event. here are some last looks at my card. And if you wouldn't mind liking, subscribing, and leaving me a comment, I would just be thrilled. Again, thank you so much for hopping along with us. And until next time, keep crafting. Bye-bye, friends.